Hey, Tim Downs here, real estate agent here on the west side of Phoenix. And this is your market intel report for the city of Goodyear in January 2026. So let's get into the stories here. So, for starters, let's say goodbye to Cotton Lane, at least in its current form. So, ADOT is looking to upgrade Cotton Lane into to an extension of the 303. They're saying that they're going to start from like Van Buren and go all the way down to the MC 85. Those of you who have been in this area have gone down that lane. You can see there already a lot of preparation for that. Essentially, they're just extending that freeway clear down to MC 85 and essentially just providing, from what it looks to me, is that ease of access to I-10 and the 303, particularly for those that are down in the southern end of Cotton Lane, particularly those of you who live in that Estrella Mountain Ranch area, where it just is that really long drive, it seems, when you need to get to the I-10. There's not a really quick way to get up there. There's lots of traffic signals and lots of traffic. Well, this is supposed to alleviate that. So those of you living up in that area, all of the buyers that are coming up that might see your house in MLS and say, I really like that area, but man, it's a really long drive. Hopefully now, after this extension, a lot of that issue will be alleviated by that, and perhaps open up the housing market a little bit more for that Estrella Mountain Ranch area. This upgrade, they're saying, is expected to be about $100 million upgrade. They said it's going to turn it into a 6-lane freeway all the way down to MC 85. So looks pretty promising, and obviously it's going to, as I said, it's going to do some good work as far as the market is concerned. In my opinion, it's definitely going to take away some of those factors of people say that's too far away. So in other news, it looks like Goodyear and other cities throughout Arizona have lost some power to deny certain construction projects. So HB 2447 is in some ways being called the death of the public hearing. So according to the way this works, in the past, a company wanted to build a building. They wanted to start a business, something more often than not, it's building something somewhere within the city. They had the process they had to go to. And part of the process apparently was once it was proposed, other residents of the city had an opportunity to object to something. They could say, no, we don't want that built there. We don't like that idea. And I think it was on the order of around 6 months, according to what I've learned about this. So that was the normal process. So in some cases, new businesses could take at least 6 months to get going. This new law, or this new approach to handling this, essentially kills this public hearing. No more is provided to the residents this "not in my backyard" protest. If a certain business or construction meets, there's some sort of objective standards. That's what they're saying. If it meets this objective standard, then that's the end of it, and the city approves it. Off it goes. So I think double-edged sword. I mean, I could see some negatives in this in some ways, but in other ways, I could see this as a positive, particularly if you're in an area where there's maybe not a lot of amenities being built around you, not a lot of places to eat, not a lot of places to shop. Where this comes in, you're not going to wait an extra 6 months anymore. Those projects are going to be approved right away. So I can see if you live in those areas that are somewhat void of those kinds of services, this might alleviate that here a whole lot quicker than it would have otherwise. Another piece of information that I would say is in some way helping the city of Goodyear as far as this real estate market is concerned is there's always businesses coming in. One in particular is popping up, though, in the research, and that is a GTI Energy. They have this massive building right on the MC 85 near the Cotton Lane interchange there. There's two really, really large buildings. One of them is GTI Energy. They're essentially like the future of the power grid. There's lots of construction or lots of manufacturing of energy-related products, lots of engineering going on there. But essentially what it means is there's lots of people working there who are making decent money, or if not better than decent money. And obviously with those kinds of jobs, those kinds of people coming in, we don't know how many of them are moving into the area, but I'm sure some of them. I've actually driven over there myself. Parking lot is full of, of cars of all the employees that are working there. So sounds like a good influx of high-paying jobs into the city of Goodyear. I suspect many of them are wanting to live here near their work in the city, if not in one of the neighboring cities. So nice influx of high-wage earners entering into the market who can afford to buy these houses, who can afford to look at these listing prices and say, yeah, that's something I can take on. So one little boost there to the city of Goodyear as far as helping the market. In other news is the city of Goodyear is taking steps to improve the water supply in the city. Clearly, living in Arizona, water is an important factor. It's essential that it's dealt with. In fact, the state has requirements that forces all new developments to address the water supply. But the city of Goodyear is trying to get ahead of this. They have a $100 million plan to upgrade the water capacity and infrastructure within the city. It looks like, according to what they're saying, it's about a doubling of the water treatment capacity to 16 million gallons per day by 2030. So massive work going on here. I know they have a facility south of Estrella, right near where the mountains are in the Estrella Mountain Ranch area. I know there's also one right north of the 10, west of Saraval, on a water reclamation project there as well. Various water tanks throughout the city. By no means an expert on the water infrastructure of the city of Goodyear, but the city of Goodyear is taking that seriously and doing quite a bit to alleviate this, what you would call an invisible constraint. At some point, if this isn't dealt with, the construction stops, the development stops, something has to be done. You have to address water supply. Looks like the city of Goodyear is doing that, so good for them. And that will definitely help the real estate market as they can add houses, as they can sustain the ones that they have. So good for all of us who are interested in the market in the city of Goodyear. So lots going on here in the city of Goodyear. Lots of activities related to keeping the city moving, keeping the city doing what it's supposed to be doing, keeping the city growing at a sustainable rate, and maintaining all these property values. So if you've got any questions, if you have interest in looking more into what the city of Goodyear has to offer on the real estate side of things, please feel free to reach out to myself, my wife Stephanie. We represent the Downs Legacy team, and we represent buyers and sellers here and the west side of Phoenix. So thank you for listening, and looking forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.